What's up, everybody? I hope you can hear me well. And as I told you, I'm going to produce more chem mirrors because that seems to me to be one of the most informative, but also one of the best solutions for myself to share knowledge, but to stay distant at the same time. So speaking from the mind, because it's basically to the tone of my voice that you should resonate to. It's not so much about the imagery. So this talk here is about the human avatar, the ghost in the shell, the avatar functionings, the mirror consciousness, and robotics, or let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5G. Whatever that might be. Because it seems to me we live in a giant hall of mirrors. That's what it is, and that's what we do to each other. So this technological aspect is beneficial, but it's also very much misleading. See, the misleads or the Mr. Leads. So this boils basically down to the functionings of the human vessel. So if we know how our avatar, how the human body is functioning, we can operate with it a lot better. And what I see in here is that many beings have no blueprint of their body, of their vessel. So how would they even be able to construct something? So the only thing that they are doing is they represent something that they are told. So this is basically what animals are, which are going to be in a slaughterhouse. Because I don't see anybody really rewriting the story. History keeps repeating itself. So it's just becoming faster. Now, like I said, we have different densities and buoyancies in our bodies. We have different nutritions. Now, nutrition comes from the word lux or nux or light. So basically, we don't have a body. We have a spirit. We have a ghost. We're chasing ghosts. Now, because we're so dense, we have no connection to the subconscious mind, to the more conscious mind that is literally happening in front of us. So I always take a look into my brain. I always take a look into my ghost, my spirit. If I just open up my senses and I see what is around me, that's me, obviously. That's how consciousness works. So if we would become more aware of the current situation that we have in front of us, that's basically what we are. And that's how human consciousness always works. See, this is why we get these updates. But in the first place, these updates, they don't come from technology. They come from within the body. And that's basically very essential, because we might think this technocrat thinking is very much giving us more space, giving us more freedom, which is true to one degree. But basically we start to depend on that because we have no blueprint of the electromagnetism, of the spirituality, which is always happening. You know, all these things that we think they're so advanced, they are already here. Nature by itself is very intelligent. So technology is one thing which is coming out of nature. So it is an Ouroboros, it is reconstructing itself all the time. It is reconsuming itself. So it is already a spiral. It is already a point of creation. Now, if you start to understand that point, that you are the one. You are the one who is mirroring out his or her reality. You start to see that you have a giant impact onto the whole thing. Now, to get to that point, you have to clean out your body. You have to clean out your brain. You have to clean out all the programs that you believed in. This gets into lighter bodies. Not to be like, hey, you only have to ingest air and urine and sun gaze 24 hours. That's not the point. But the point is to understand what this gameplay is. And this gameplay is, like I said, I don't know if you exist. And if you get to that point, then you get to the point of creation. You get to, hey, your ego doesn't exist anymore. So you basically mirror yourself out. You become very big, you become a giant. Although you look like everybody else. So we are all the same, we're all one, but I see a lot of, ego-minded people, and I'm rewriting myself to integrate. I don't change, but I integrate myself into the system. So the ghost in a shell is basically the ghost in a nutshell. Is the spirit which sits on top of the spine, on top of the kundalini, inside my dome, inside my wise dome, my head, my wisdom. And this is where I start to mirror myself out. So this is why we have these buildings who are constructed like a head, like a dome, Look at ancient churches, and the functionings of the human being never really changed. It's just that I'm speaking transparently about it. And the truth is that we are self-sustaining. So if we know that we are a self-sustaining human being, we are a self-sustaining human vessel, depending on air, light, and water, which we produce. Even if we would not drink, we would still produce urine. Now, if you would ingest that, you would start to clean out your body. And I'm not stressing this because all of you should drink urine, but it's more about, like I said, the consciousness aspect. You start to become aware of it. And it's not a solution to be like an only breatharian type being and everything else is bad. It's about changing in between the different deities, the different godhoods, the different hoods, the different spells that you construct yourself with. Because if you would go into a church, you would pray to God, you would pray to Jesus, you would pray to Muhammad, Allah, you would pray to whatever. All these deities which you mirror yourself out, where you mirror yourself in, they are you. Because your belief system is constructed like this. Because of your educational system, because of society, and it's neither a good nor a bad thing. It's not that I'm like, hey, all these things are bad. If you mirror yourself in it and that's great for you, continue doing it. If it gives you benefits. I mirror myself, for example, in a lot of different things. What I find to be very much true is, for example, the Kemetics. Because it seems to me to be one of the most ancient, oldest traditions where a lot of other things originate from. So this is why I mirror myself in the number of 42, because it's connected to the 42 laws of Ma'at, to the Kemetic belief system, to the magical aspect of the chems, to the full color spectrum, magic, to the pupil, to the black gods, to the pharaohs, to the princes, the prince, the constructors. And I'm also mirroring myself in, for example, also the Polarians, which are originated from Helena Blavatsky. Now, these are very much ether-like beings, which we all are. You know, it seems to me to be one of the most original things where we basically come from. We don't see it basically, but if you start to become very good at magic, you become very good at reading signs, reading nature, reading consciousness, and of course using, in the end, magic, imagination is there to benefit you, right? That's obvious. But the quest is, what kind of footprint do you leave? And I'm trying to leave maybe a zero footprint, right? I'm just vanishing, and I wasn't even here, like a ninja, you know. I'm like a dust. I'm throwing a dust bomb, and I'm just dissolving, you know. But hey, like I said, you know, I would like to go to the Seychelles, to the hell heel. I'm burning here on hell, you know. That's what the avatar is doing. If you really understand it, you burn here. This is what gives you energy. This is what alchemy is. Alchemy, you know, magic, imagination. Everybody does it, and I mirror that thing out because it seems to me to be one of the most original things, and I'm seeing that literally in my environment. This is how I construct. So, what can I tell you? You know, I can tell you, hey, you know, fast more. Or eat more, you know, break your addiction patterns. Get into things which seem to be beneficial to you, you know. Eat less or eat more. Listen more, talk less. Or maybe you should talk more. Find balance. Maybe if you're ready for it, get into distilled waters. Buy yourself a water distiller. Drink more water. Lube your urine. Get into Shivambukalpa. Put urine into your senses. And meet more friends. You know, have social activities. Move more. You know, it doesn't really matter where you are, because if you really start to find out what you are and who you are, you don't really move. You know, you just, your mind space changes, and the things that you are presented, you present yourself with in front of you. So that's what basically mirror consciousness is. And like I said, in these humble words, drink more water, love and appreciate more yourself. And maybe I'm just living in the gameplay, you know. It seems to me sometimes that it's only me, you know. And it's not out of ego. It's about, hey, you know, I'm just I'm not having any gods above me, because I'm a shaman. But that doesn't make me better. That's not the point. It's just like that I know what belief systems are, and I know what mirror consciousness is. So this is basically what all these black mirrors. I'm not telling you that from a bad perception. That's not the point. I'm like, hey, you know, this is how consciousness works. Consciousness works already in the mirroring process. So if you mirror yourself on your phone, it's just a toy to realize how powerful your perception is. Because you perceive and you create through mind. This is what Kemetic Black Yoga is basically telling you. One of the, from my degree, I would say it's the original form of movement. Well, whatever that might be, you know, it's move mind, you know, but you would mirror, you would construct through the mind process, obviously. Then it gets into body, and yeah, you would do yourself, you know. Like, become very conscious about your environment, and then you start to see that all you basically are presented with is you. Now the question is, do you like to see that? Would you like to change it? And this is where fasting comes into place, or Shivamukalpa, alchemy. So the ghost in the shell, the avatar functionings, that's what I explained here. Hope you like that. If so, leave a comment, push a thumbs up, subscribe. Normally I'm not saying that, even, whatever. I don't sound like a robot. Do whatever you would like to do. You don't have to like something here. You just have to be, you just have to move. Maybe you have to fast more, or maybe you have to eat more. Become more conscious and find out what consciousness basically is, who you are. The ghost in the shell. I love you. Take care. And listen to the water aspect. Back to the Future.